Hello everyone, welcome back to our newest video in which we're going to explore the new Paranormal Stuff Pack of The Sims 4. And for this video I decided to bring back Nicki, because I had a lot of fun playing with her in the Journey to Batu pack, and I thought it would be nice to do something similar with her again. I think she just has a nice personality and fits well with any Sims content really. And right now I moved her to this mansion. Well, it's not really a mansion, but this house made by Dr. Ashley that came with the game, because it has already all the objects from the Paranormal Stuff Pack. And so, for example, there's a CN stable that she's using now to commune with the dead. And yeah, and it's a really nice house as well. It really has that haunted house vibe that obviously matches with the pack very well. So I decided to use this one, and I did have to cheat to get enough simoleons to move here though, but since I wanted to get to the gameplay right away, that was really the only way to go to get this video up before the end of the week. And so here's the first message that she got from moving into the haunted house, where it's just telling her that you're in a haunted house and weird things are bound to happen and so on. And I'm just gonna invite some other Sims over, the ones that she actually knows and don't hate her yet, to have a seance to get the medium skill left. I thought initially it was a little weird to have a medium skill, but it's just like 5 levels, so it's not that hard to get it maxed up. And that's what she's doing right now, having a seance with her friends from the neighborhood. And it's a kind of a weird group of people, but well, with more people it's more likely that we will work and we will have a good outcome instead of just making the house more haunted or whatever that it happens when you fail at a seance. I do wonder if you can die from doing it really wrong, because there's so many ways Sims can die in this game that I wouldn't be surprised that something went terribly wrong and they were whiskered away to the road of the spirits forever or something like that. And Nicki is alone here. This time she doesn't have Queen Bee or Ari with her to beg for her life with the Green Reaper if they show up. But well, things seem to turn out fine, and we actually found one of these nice specters, one of the happy ones hanging around the house. So I went there to talk to it, and I saw that there is an option to offer your soul to them, which seems pretty dark and like really weird to do when you just meet them. And obviously here she's failing to socialize with it, and she lost some points, and that made the house more haunted. But they are showing up all the time, like here she can actually summon them to the house in the seance table, and this is one of the angry ones, and they get her terrified all the time, regardless of being the happy ones, the sad ones, or the angry ones. Nicki will be terrified anyway. And to be honest, I think that's pretty funny because I think of Nicki as such a bad bitch, that gets her way whenever, and for her to be scared of a little a little very cute ghost, by the way, or specter or whatever they're called. So yeah, so one thing we will not be doing is offering our soul to them, especially for these angry ones, that would probably I don't know what the specters do with them souls, if they eat them or they mess them up. But well, here she actually got a good moodlet for interacting with it. You know, she's feeling playful after it, so it's good. But then she quickly turns into terrified and back into playful again. So I don't know if it's a bug or a feature that these moodlet lasts for so short, you know, that they get really, really scared and then after a few seconds it goes away. I really don't see the purpose of that, but there it is. It wouldn't be The Sims with some weird stuff going on after all. And then now she's going around actually to get rid of these spooky hands that show up in the haunted houses, you know, to increase the serenity, the spiritual serenity of the place. You know, you just get rid of them by kicking them, and the little ghost comes out of it. And then back to the seance table, you know, to interact a little more with the underworld because well we needed to get the skill up, and this time around we were summoning Bone Hilda, which apparently everybody went crazy about that, and I think she might be from The Sims 3. I'm not sure because I didn't play The Sims 3 too much, but well, it's a skeleton maid and you summon her and you can socialize with her. She's feeling very flirty around Nicki, as she should. But we're not gonna go there, you know. I don't think Nick is into that, into the skeleton ladies. So we're just gonna talk to her a bit and let her do her thing, which is supposed to clean the place, you know. And Nikki's not very impressed by her. She's actually feeling quite bored from their conversation right now. So, I don't know, apparently Bone Hilda doesn't have anything fun to talk about, and then there they are, they lost some points in their relationship, and Bone Hilda just got up and left, you know, so, which is what you should always do if you find yourself in a boring conversation. And apparently using the seance table is really tiring for the soul, so every time Nikki does it, she needs to take a nap afterwards, but then she's back up again and she's destroying some more of those spooky hands that show up, and Bone Hilda is just hanging around there. And then, finally, after a few days in this house, Gidry the ghost showed up and we get to interact with him a bit, and he's always flirty apparently, but he ain't cute enough for us, so we're not gonna do anything about that. So Nick is just going to chat with him for a bit because, I mean, he's the guide for this pack, right? There's no aspiration, no tutorials. You're just supposed to talk to him to, you know, get to know more about the ghosts and the specters and the paranormal stuff. So I was just like asking him every single question available to get to know more and to know more about options and what we can do with this particular stuff pack. And apparently he's the one that allows you to be a paranormal investigator, you know, but you have to have your median skill at the highest, so we'll keep working on that to get our paranormal investigator license as soon as possible so we can start playing with these new active career, which is something much needed in The Sims. So it was, I mean, I was quite happy that we have a new active career to play with, although Paranormal Investigator wouldn't be my first choice. It's nice to have it there anyway. So let's just keep interacting with him a little more and see what he can do for us. Well, it turns out most of this stuff is grayed out anyway, so we can pick most of them, but... And well, anyway, Nick is too tired to be talking to them ghosts at this time of the night. So since Gidry the ghost is actually chatting to a specter and he seems to be getting some positive points with it and raising up the spiritual stability of the household. It's convenient for us. He's doing our job for us, so like that. And we're just gonna leave him to do just that right now. Also, if she's sleeping, she cannot possibly be terrified because that's really inconvenient. Every time she gets like that, she doesn't want to do anything, like anything at all. The only thing you can do is like hide under the covers or try to scream uncontrollably to perhaps improve your mood a little bit. So let's just, since it is at night that most of the weird stuff happens, it's better that she just, stays in bed right now. And then these candles that I put here, it actually took me a while to find them, but they are sacred candles and they are supposed to keep away the bad spirits and bad specters. And it speak like a pirate day, which is my least favorite holiday. And then I did have her summon some more of the specters around to interact with them, and then apparently you can make offerings to them to, but of course they hate it, and that made the place a bit more haunted, which is not what we wanted. And next, I went for this macabre ritual, which apparently just turns everybody into ghosts, which is pretty annoying because as soon as they become ghosts, everybody just starts going around cursing and breaking things because they're tense and upset. And I kid you not, they broke every single thing that they could break in this house, and I had to go around and replace or fix it all afterwards, which is pretty annoying, but well, it is what it is. Like here you see this guy going into the toilet to break it right away, and as a ghost, Nicki cannot fix it whatsoever. So we're just gonna have her slip it off. It only lasts 4 hours, and she's pretty tired from the ritual anyway. So we're gonna have her take a nap to get over this ghost phase. Of course, it's temporary because, as you all know, Nicki cannot be killed by any means. She's that bad, and she's just gonna revert back to normal in a while once the mood light goes away. And she's also feeling pretty tense because she has the indoor enthusiast lifestyle, and even though she's been indoors this whole time, she got this moodlet that is actually saying the opposite, that she misses the indoors, and for that reason, she's quite tense, which is another bug. And right now, these weird symbols started showing up around the house, and apparently you can get rid of them just by mopping the floors, so that's convenient for us. So I did just that, and then in the next morning sent her to the Saiyan stable again, and then she finally maxed out the median skill, and then we can talk to Gidry and ask for, well, first we're gonna scream uncontrollably at him and ask her to for reassurance, because she's feeling terrified because of all the ghosts and the spooky stuff showing up at the house. And then once that goes away, we can finally ask him for Paranormal Investigator license since we maxed out the skill, and take a gig right away to see what these new career path is all about. If it's fun, if it's worth playing or not. So we're gonna do that just in a second if she doesn't collapse into the floor from being so tired. Please, Nicki, don't faint. You can do this. Okay, so now she's a paranormal investigator. We're gonna pick up a gig. There's like 3 difficulty levels, and we don't really need the money, and so we're just gonna go for the average difficulty one, you know, the medium one, which is supposed to be not so easy, not so hard, because you know we don't need money anyway, so we just want to play it for fun. And then we go to this lot, which is Johnny Zest's trailer or house or whatever that is, and we have to exorcise the place, which we do by getting rid of all the spooky stuff in it, like the cursed hands and the weird symbols that show up around the place. Surprisingly, the garden gnomes are not a cursed item, so you cannot destroy them, which is a shame. Because in real life, those things are really cursed, you know, so I would expect them to be on the Sims as well, but that's not the case here. But anyway, so I'm just going around kicking away the weird spooky hands, and then we're gonna knock on the front door so we can actually go inside the house and start exercising it, you know, seeing what's going on in there. Like there are more of these weird symbols on the floor that showed up in our house that we have to get rid of, and she's immediately tense from being around all that spooky stuff and all these specters hanging around. And this house in particular, it's really like whoever built it really has outdone themselves, because it's a monstrosity of ugliness. Just like everything about it is wrong, which makes it even more cursed in my opinion. And then we're just gonna make an offering to the specters to see if they will leave willingly, but no, they hate the food that we brought with us, and they seem to be pretty upset about it, and they seem to not be willing to go anywhere. So we're just going to politely ask them to leave, because we don't have anything else to give to them, and we don't have the time to be cooking or anything, and I don't even think that would work anyway, because her cooking skills are not that high, just high enough to not burn down the place every time she uses the stove. But anyway, so she got quite frightened in the process, and that started making things really hard, because she didn't want to do anything, you know, she just wanted to cower under the covers or scream or do whatever she could to do whatever I could to make her not so scary. And since we have the level 5 medium skill, we can actually make seances anywhere. So we just draw a circle on the ground, and then we like perform a seance right there in the middle of the desert to get rid of the ghosts and the specters and everything else that seems to be haunting this place. And by now, I've actually realized that the things you do as a paranormal investigator, the interactions and the objects and so on, they're pretty much the same that you interact with living in a haunted house, you know, so it's not exactly something super creative here. It actually gets a bit repetitive, you know, for the limited number of interactions that you can do and things you can play around with. But I mean, this is just a stuff pack, you know, so I didn't expect to have a super thorough, super innovative career with it. But it's still a shame that we didn't get something more creative. And now the seance is almost done, and that actually gives her a lot of points towards cleansing the place, and we are almost there, but Nicki needs to pee. But on the way there, there's some sort of um, ghost puddle on the floor that she slips and falls right on it, and but she didn't die, thankfully. And we're gonna get rid of that right away, and supposedly it will bring us closer to cleansing the place or exorcising it or whatever shows up in the language that you're playing this game. As you might have noticed, I play it in Portuguese, which is my native language, and because just I think so many things are funny in the translations, that I actually enjoy playing it like that. But my sister, for example, plays it in English because she bougie. And now things are getting real because Nicki is terrified, so she needs to hide under the covers. But there's more and more spooky things showing up. Like there's this cursed doll, there's specters everywhere, more of those cursed hands. The owner of the house doesn't do anything to help. And of course, we're running out of time, so I'm worried we will not complete the assignment in time, and we're gonna screw up her first gig as a paranormal investigator. And as you can see here, she's too afraid to do anything, so the interactions are mostly grayed out. So the only thing I can do is talk to this specter and again politely ask it to leave, but that never worked before, so I'm not expecting it to work right now either. But now she's not as scared for a second, and we can get rid of that spooky doll right away. And I'm hoping this will complete the fill up the bar because we don't have much time to do anything else. Oh, great, she's terrified again. She's almost having a heart attack over here because of this little blue specter, which is not frightening whatsoever. And another one of those dolls showed up, so we're just gonna go to our client, and scream at him uncontrollably to make her a bit less scared and ask for reassurance, and hopefully that will help her. And then we have like a very small window where we can actually do something about it, and she's gonna kick that doll right into the shadow realm and complete the assignment. And that's it. That's her first gig as a paranormal investigator. That's it for today's video.